active Church of Satan members. We do not speak on their behalf. The following contains language of an adult manner and poorly impersonated celebrity voices. Listener discretion is advised.
This is Warlock, Milton Kruger, and you're listening to the Devil You Know podcast. Damn, watch the teeth. Enjoy the show.
What knockers?
What knockers?
What knockers? Yeah, man. That's what I wanted to start the show with, man. It's a sad day in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, man. Our my favorite character of my favorite movie of my favorite life, Willy Wonka, dead. Gene Wilder, 83.
Versus your not favorite life, though. That's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. It's weird because I mean, you kind of said this earlier when you and I were talking before the show, is that just knowing that person's not in the world. Because I mean, you know, like it's not like I was waiting for news on a new Gene Wilder movie or anything like that, you know. But yeah, when you hear that news,
they're gone.
It kind of hits you, like,
yeah.
like, oh, you know, like I really liked this person. I really like what he did, you know, and with many of his movies actually. And so yeah, it's definitely sad.
The thing with me is, like, you know, when Prince died, I'm like, oh damn, Prince, you know, because I like some of his songs, I'll admit it, and things like that, and you know, and George Carlin, of course, he's a huge influence on a lot of things that I love. But when you hear about Gene Wilder, when I did anyway, for me, it hit a certain old ancient part of me from my childhood that just, it hurts, man. It hurts because, you know, and I wasn't, like you said, I'm not thinking about him every day and all that stuff, but when you know he's gone, it's a whole different, you're like, wait a minute, he's not here anymore, and now I want a Willy Wonka tattoo, you know what I mean? Because it's just,
like, well, you know, we talked about this personally, but I mean, like, you remember when we were kids, when you didn't have, you know, VCRs, and you didn't have, like, you know, a DVD or anything like that, and you just kind of, whatever was on was on, and, you know, every now and then you were like, what, Willy Wonka's on, you know, and like, you know, even as a kid, like, you know, we knew every song, you know, and
I mean, I could have been in the backyard playing a nurse.
Character, I mean,
I was in the backyard playing doctor, or if you show me mine, I'll show me yours. If my mom said Willy Wonka's on, later, you know, I took my finger out and then ran into the house, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. And you know, I mean, that was just like, that was a very magical movie. And I mean, talk about he may as well have called himself Satan in that movie. Willy Wonka
he was the epitome of Satan.
He offered everyone their just choices, just showed, you know, these choices, and, you know, these rotten little shits got everything they deserved, and it was a beautiful movie. You know, it was just magical, like everything about it too, especially like even the textures of everything. You know, the first time they open up the doors to where, you know, all the hills and the chocolate fountain and everything, that, you know, you just your imagination as a kid was like, God, to be in there, to taste everything, and Willy Wonka, his character, you know, is kind of added to that whole.
I loved everything about him in that movie. I mean, it's perfect. When Augustus Gloop fell into the chocolate waterfall river thing, he whips out, Willy Wonka whips out a little bag of whatever, he's just munching on something like it was a good movie. He's just like, suspense is terrible, I hope it lasts.
Yeah, exactly. I know, right? Yeah.
But I think my favorite thing from him was, I mean, a lot of, you know, this right here.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of great quotes from that.
Even in the songs that he sang, like this little piece right here, is so satanic if you just really look at these words, listen to these words.
If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world. There's nothing to it.
Right? I mean,
yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
I just love it.
It's really sad. Yeah. Even I used to love Young Frankenstein.
Oh,
just
man,
goofy
yeah.
humor.
Yeah.
What a classic movie, and of course Blazing Saddles, and he was definitely like an important part of movies from when we were young.
Yep.
So definitely a sad day to see him.
I know, but
this isn't somebody either who I'm sorry, but when some 30-year-old musician takes too many pills and accidentally commits suicide, I could give a fuck. When I see that happen, I'm just like, you know what, fuck you deserve it. And I mean, he was 83. He lived I'm sure he lived a full life, but at the same time, like somebody like that, then that's a reason to be sad. That's a quality individual.
yeah, but you gotta love it. You gotta love when at the end of that Willy Wonka, dude.
You lose! Good day, sir!
You get nothing. I love it.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Schnotzberries, Vermicious Canids. Yeah, I'm gonna miss him, man. I'm gonna watch that movie fucking 10 times this week, and I'm gonna have
I
you.
know, right?
I'm gonna have you draw up a wicked Willy Wonka / Satan tattoo, and or give him a tail or something, and then some horns on the hat.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get that tat, dude.
We should, for this episode coming up, the picture should have Willy Wonka in the circle where the devil face usually is for our logo.
Okay, you got it, man. I'll do that.
That'd be fun.
All right, consider it
A
done.
little dedication. So,
Dude, I'm gonna fucking cry. So let's go on with the show.
all right, let's do it.
Salutations, one and all. I am the Reverend Count MoriVond, a.k.a. the Ignoble Nobleman, a.k.a. the Vicar of Vice. And I'm here to expound to you, my dear audience, the virtues of libertinage and the genteel machinations of the pursuers of all things carnal. Before we commence our journey into the land of flesh and controlled hedonism, I ask you, my cherished would-be voluptuaries, to entertain the anachronistic airs of a time of gentlemanly culture and sophistication, a time of sensible custom and customary sensibility. For in order to secure the affections and more of your intended target, you must first prove yourself a worthy recipient, that no woman wishes to confer her most pleasurable gifts on a man who makes no effort to deserve them. And rightfully so. It is nature's undeniable and most suiting dictate that we men must first prove our worthiness, as it is for women to be suspicious of every suitor and fend off those deemed unsuitable. Firstly, we will begin by dissecting the anatomy of the devil's dandy, or what it is to be both a gent of class and elegance as well as a bearer of the black flame. To that end, journey me further as I reprise my counsel on the Devil You Know podcast, that the harvests of debauchery are reaped for the devils of greater refinement. This has been the Reverend Count MoriVond, a.k.a. the Ignoble Nobleman, a.k.a. the Vicar of Vice. In nomine Dei nostri Satanus Pater Libertinorum. Yes.
Okay, so for episode 44, John, we need to have some more musicians in here. Something manly. Who we got?
Manly of mans, we've got fellow Satanist Jöhn Cärtër, everyone.
What's
Hi.
up, man?
What's going on?
Yeah.
I am here.
Laid on that soundboard.
Yeah.
I'll edit it. Don't worry about it.
Jöhn Cärtër is vocalist for
Down to This.
This.
Hardcore metal.
This
That
is just
is me.
hardcore, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Is metal like not cool to say anymore?
Well, it's funny because like I remember at least over the past like 15 years there was like, you know, you had like hardcore, then there was metalcore, and then there was new metal, and then everything kind of blended in and whatnot, you know. And so there's all these subgenres that there's always been subgenres, but I think that hardcore has been is a subgenre of punk and a subgenre of metal. So there's definitely you know, both elements. But I mean, when you're not around people that have much of a clue about hardcore, it's easy and safe to just call yourself a metal band. But if someone is in the know, you can say hardcore and they'll know what you're talking about. That's just kind of like
it seemed like it got uncool. Like I mean, John and I we both played in bands forever. I played in bands since I was, you know, in high school and stuff. And when all those genres were coming up, people would play it for me. I go, fuck that, that's metal. You know, it's heavy, it's metal.
Yeah.
You know, but it for the 90s it became uncool. You couldn't say 90s. So and a lot of younger people in the late 90s and early 2000s, they would use that term hardcore for and I have your music, so I know you are hardcore. I was just giving you a hard time earlier about the metal thing. But there was a lot of bands out there that really were just metal bands that, you know, kids would say stuff like that, you know, oh yeah, I listen to this new hardcore band, and I listen to it. That is not hardcore. You have no idea what hardcore is, but it just became uncool to say metal anymore.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right, because I actually remember in the probably the early to mid 90s where you were not supposed to say that you liked metal at all. The only people that were really flying the flag were fans of bands like Cannibal Corpse and Morbid Angel, and like the true diehard death metal fans that just really didn't give a shit, never followed trends. And that was the only faction that I found that was really just kind of, it's, you know, metal. And, you know, there was a huge stigma because of the way that the, you know, alternative movement just kind of just, you know, put a bullet in the whole hair metal thing, which to me, I mean, I could get on a whole other rant about hair metal. I don't think there's such a thing as hair metal, because that's just rock and roll. But it's all media. Like the media will call something, you know, that's it, you know.
Humans. Hey, I was listening tonight at my workout. I was listening to, I had some of your music in my playlist, but I also had Wasp 9-5 Nasty playing in there. So. Oh, dude, I am a ginormous Wasp fan. Oh my God, dude! I want to. Me and my wife and my two boys, when they were like really little, we would blast "I Want to Be Somebody" in the car together, and my kids knew every word to "Wild Child," "I Want to Be Somebody."
Come love me.
Yeah. When we got to "Animal Fuck Like a Beast," we had to skip it, but you know.
Of course. Yeah. I
Why?
was the same way with my kids.
Why?
Like I'd let them hear like Motley Crue and different bands like that. But yeah, you know, every now and then you'd be like, oh, I can't listen to that one. Don't sing that on your mother or whatever.
Dude, for sure.
What I was going to say before was like, humans tend to make things more complex than they really are, and to take music and subgenre into the subgenre of a subgenre, it's, to me, it sounds ridiculous. When I was growing up, it was like, dude, what is that? Oh, it's rock, man. Really? Is it hard? Yeah, it's kind of hard. Thrashy? No, not thrashy, but hard. Sweet. And they knew what I'm talking about right from that. But now it's like gothcore, metal gothcore, goth lipstick.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck you talking about, dude?
I've got.
Well, I think there's a desperation to define yourself. Just, I mean, the same way with sexuality is like we can't be happy with just either straight bi or gay. You know, now it's like they make up some fucking stupid ass words, and I don't understand. It's just this need to identify, to be separate somehow.
Look at me.
Same thing with music. Like, yeah, like they weren't. I mean, granted, like I can understand in some instances with certain kinds of music where it sounds like a certain kind of band, you know, sludge metal, because one band was kind of sludgy and a bunch of bands started sounding like that. But still, I mean, it does kind of overcomplicate things sometimes.
Yeah, and I actually there's a friend of mine that does a metal podcast that him and I talk about this all the time. And the number one way that I broke it down was like this. I said, it's not so much how the music sounds, it's the culture that it comes from. Like if you have a group of kids that came up on Minor Threat and Bad Brains and Black Flag that kind of, you know, they went from that to something a little bit more aggressive and heavier, they're going to call some of the... Yeah, absolutely. They're gonna call like a thrashier band that's from New York that wears hoodies and Nikes a hardcore band, but some dude that's just into heavy stuff's gonna go, no, that's a thrash band. Because I've always kind of been under the belief that hardcore, I guess more or less from like the 90s into the 2000s, was a hybrid of a more groove-oriented thrash. You know, that's pretty much what I would refer it to.
Get some balls.
Yeah, I could totally see that. I could totally see that. You know, like some of the like Anthrax riffs and stuff like that. That could totally go into the hardcore genre.
And it's really bad.
So tell us about your band. Tell us about the start of your band. How you got it going.
Okay, well, it's kind of it's kind of funny. I'm talking to a friend of mine about writing a book about it, because it's probably the most. I mean, you guys have been in bands, so you know that there's drama constantly and there's stupid stuff. Because if you've been in a band for an extended period of time, you know that there's all kinds of stupid stories that would never happen in any other area of life.
It's a marriage, man. Yeah.
Exactly, John. It's a marriage, and that's totally what it is. And the thing about it is, it was like down to this has been an ongoing marriage, but it's a polygamist nightmare because we've gone through like a good handful of different members over it's almost about 8 years that we've been doing this, and right now we are on let's see, our third drummer, our fourth bassist, and our second main guitarist.
Those are growing pains, man.
Oh, totally. And honestly, I'm totally cool with it. And the thing of it is, man, we started like 8 years ago. We're just dudes from just random other bands in the area, and I had just moved to North Carolina from Iowa, and just like through just some mutual friends, I met our original guitar player and original bassist and our drummer. And me and the drummer were in a death metal band with just one of the biggest turds you'll ever meet in your entire life on lead guitar, that we just ditched that right away. And as we were finding a way to get rid of him, a guy asked me and my drummer if we wanted to start like a old school, like New York hardcore, sick of it all type hardcore band. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I grew up on that shit. I'm 40 years old. I've been straight edge since '94, and a big part of my straight edge upbringing was, of course, hardcore music. And I was just like, yes, because I've been in so many different bands of different types of music over the years: hardcore, metalcore, punk, a lot of punk rock, a lot of like technical type stuff, just all, because I like all kinds of stuff. But basically, the spirit and the culture of hardcore is what I gravitate to. So anyway, we started a little band about 8 years ago, and right off the bat, we attracted attention of some really influential people, like in the New York hardcore scene and the North Carolina hardcore scene. And some of our members fucked up bad by saying a lot of dumb shit and kind of getting into it and not really understanding what the scene was about. And just like you said, growing pains, went through a lot of stuff over the years. And about 2 years ago, we did our third record, Relentless, which is our current one, and we signed to Swell Creek Records out of Germany. And about 2 weeks after it came out, our current drummer that we had at the time, Anthony, who was a big like technical death metal guy, great dude, heart of gold, decided that he wasn't hardcore enough, more or less, to be in a hardcore band. He
found Jesus, didn't he?
Dude, he found well.
I didn't know I was supposed to be looking for him.
Yeah, you're not too far off the mark. I mean, he was just a lost dude that just really, had an inferiority complex. And he had a practice spot that was in his backyard, which was about an hour away from me. So he wanted to practice like every single day. And I'm like, look, dude, you joined this band 6 years in. I know these songs at the back of my hand. I don't need to practice like every day of the week, And he goes, well, we need to be tighter, blah, blah, blah. I said, dude, we're good. And he basically wanted to kind of control it. So he had a little shit fit, bailed out, and our bass player left with him. And the label in Germany, if we were in the same country, they probably would have put a hit out on us. They were so fucking pissed off. So it was bad. And so we went on kind of a slow.
Put you in an oven?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, it was brutal, man. And the thing about it is that not to spin off into various other stories, but I jumped through so many hoops to get that deal. Because I had some friends of mine from Germany that were friends here. Hardcore. The great thing about hardcore, as a side note, is all about like a really good network of people that find family in the scene. So through the years with stuff like MySpace and like touring in other bands, just meeting people, you just get a collection of people that that will put in a good word for you. So we got that going, and then bam, 2 weeks after we signed, he decides he doesn't want to do it anymore and wants to start a technical death metal band. And our guitar player, who was the founding member, he just lost all hope and stopped playing. Turns around and he's playing in a Christian hardcore band with guys that he said he hated, and he played a big show with Madball and some other bands. Really, I mean, kind of like a career-defining kind of show. And his ego got out of control. He was told that he fucked up a couple times, and it's just, like I said, I could write a book, man. I could spin off into random stories that probably don't make sense to people that weren't involved. So I'll digress from that at the moment. But so
take a breath, man. Take a breath, because
dude, I'm telling you,
that was like one huge run-on sentence, and I'm like, holy shit.
I've learned how to circular breathe while I babble on, because I'm so fucking self-absorbed, apparently.
So you can play the fuck out of a didgeridoo.
Dude, yeah, I could didgeridoo it all night long, tell you what. But anywho, we took a little short hiatus, and then I found the guys that I have right now just through random word of mouth and references.
And Craigslist. No, I'm kidding.
Dude, our fucking drummer put a thing on Craigslist right after he got out of the army. He said, I want to start a hardcore band, and a friend of mine found him, and we pieced it together. And Craigslist, oddly enough, and he hasn't tried to murder me yet, so that's an advantage. And then, and a friend of mine, Mike Valdivia, he started playing bass, and like we slowly kind of like got our founding guitar player out of the mix because he was wrapped up in a situation with a female that just was hindering way too much of our movement. So. Long story short,
wow. I've never heard of that before.
Oh no, yeah, that never happens to band members, does it? Are we the first band to ever have that happen?
No girlfriend's allowed to practice, dude. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah. So anyway, we got a good solid lineup right now, and this kid that I've known for years, just around the local scene, stepped in, learned freaking like our entire set in like a day, and came to practice and nailed it. We're like, okay, I guess we got a new guitar player, and so now we have a whole new lineup, and it's basically like. Jöhn Cärtër featuring Down to This, You don't want to
change it to Johnny and the Sister Wives?
Yes. Fucking polygamy X. I don't know.
Nice.
But yeah, it's cool, and then because we got the new lineup and it's solid and people are pretty stoked on it, and they're just good dudes. Our drummer, he's been playing in hardcore bands in Puerto Rico since 1989. And he was in a band that toured with Hatebreed. They toured with Anthrax, did all kinds of stuff, and he's like the best kept secret, dude. I couldn't be happier. So that's where we're at now.
Nice.
Do you guys do much touring?
We're going to be. It was funny because about a month before our last drummer and bassist bailed, we just got done with a short New York area jaunt that we did, and things were going super well. And then, of course, that kind of came. But I've been spending the past about a year and a half kind of restructuring this. Well, I was doing like a punk rock side project for a while that kind of crumbled just due to weirdness. But we got this going again, and we're going to be going down to Puerto Rico within the year because our drummer has mad hookups down there. And we got some New York stuff that's being worked on within the next 6 months, and we're kind of sticking to the North Carolina, Virginia, and South Carolina area. Through the holidays and into spring, but we're getting show offers left and right and everything, and people are really stoked about the new lineup and that we're doing this all again. So yeah,
very cool. So the record label's in Germany, right?
Well, the original label now, Swamp Metal Records, out of Georgia, just re-released Relentless, and around the same time they hired me on as their graphic design guy. I've known Jack from Swamp Metal Records for about, past 5 years, just kind of off and on from his band and my band, just kind of like crossing paths and stuff. And Swamp Metal is primarily a sludge doom label, and we stick out like a sore thumb. We're like the only traditional hardcore band that's on there, and it's going extremely well on that label right now, and they're going to be re-releasing our first two albums probably in cassette format, just for sake of retro trends. Real soon. But
now I got to buy a pencil,
dude. Yeah. Oh yeah, a pencil and some Scotch tape.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you don't want anyone recording over it. No, but yeah, I mean, like, now I got to go out and find a tape player somewhere.
Dude, it's funny. It's kind of like just when I go to flea markets all the time, and I always look for random weird stuff to throw in my garage, and just like anybody else. Yeah, I've got the man cave going on, but my wife actually she actually spends more time in the man cave than I do, but I just got all kinds of random stuff, and I used to run across cassette players all the time. And now that cassettes are kind of in vogue once again with underground music, so many black metal bands are putting out amazing music on cassettes, and so many hardcore bands and punk bands are doing cassettes now. And now I'm thinking, I'm just gonna run to the flea market and grab one. I can't find them any fucking where. So it's it's whatever. But I mean, yeah,
Amazon.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. I fucking hate Amazon, but yeah, I'll try that.
Funny.
Right on.
Damn. All right, I was listening to the album, and one song that really grabbed me by the balls and I liked a lot was called Lion's Share.
Right on.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about that song, how that came about?
Yeah, basically, I was actually listening to. You guys familiar with the old LA hardcore band, The Germs?
Absolutely not.
Okay, nope. The Germs, Darby Crash, probably the most legendary. Anyway, they got a song called Lion's Share, and it's just I have no idea what he's saying because it's just kind of babbling. The guy was a freaking heroin junkie, so it was just kind of sounded like he was babbling, and they started rolling tape and playing music. But I was just I liked it. It had a good ring to it, so I just kind of just had that kind of rolling in my head, and I kind of looked up sort of what that meant, whatever, and it's more or less about just kind of just taking life by the balls and just getting what you deserve and not really worrying about anybody else's feelings, and seeing that when there's something in plain view that nobody else is trying to get, that that you deserve, that you're like, well shit, I'm just gonna go fucking get it because nobody else fucking wants it, and you're gonna take it and turn it into something great, you know what I mean? And
yes.
And so that being said, I want to do that in an abundance. I want a lion's share of all these great things that are out there that people are just ignoring, that are so valuable, whether in the tangible world or in the
tape recorders.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, cassette decks, I don't know, VHS tapes, whatever. But no, it's just basically it's about getting just getting what you feel is rightfully yours, and a lot of it, and it's actually to be honest with you, about a good majority of the lyrics on that album are influenced by the Satanic Bible. It's just about getting what's rightfully yours. Just taking everything and indulging in an abundance and not being ashamed of it. So.
All right. So what do you think we should play this track here for the kids? See what they think of it.
Do it.
All right.
Sure. See if they don't shut it off.
Not to get shit back.
Dude, what'd you think? That was awesome.
I actually, I it is in my it's in my workout playlist, so I do listen to Lion's Share, and then I listen to White Lion.
Wait,
the children cry, and it's really hard. It's really hard to lift weights to when the children cry. So
because you got a raging hard on for the singer.
Because I have a tear in my eye.
Oh, okay, that too.
Let them know we tried. Yeah, right.
Oh my God, dude! I heard Little Fighter on the radio the other day, and then
nice.
That's all I gotta say. It's
what the hell is the radio station were you listening to?
Oh, it was, dude, there's this horrendous freaking quote-unquote classic rock station called WSFL around here that just plays just stuff that I don't even know how they get their playlist, but I mean, obviously, you get your fair share of Here I Go Again by Whitesnake, Janie's Crying, anything that you've basically choked a dead horse with, they play it, so.
But it doesn't suck that we're like this age and those songs are classic?
No, they can't be, dude. I mean, I'm 40, and like when you hear like Pearl Jam come on the classic rock station, or like they play the shit out of Temple of the Dog, and I'm just kind of like, dude, I was like 18 when that came out, and like there's no way that.
That's the thing that sucks to me is like I will still say. Like every now and then, like somebody will say, like what kind of newer stuff you like, and I'll start saying, like Alice in Chains and stuff like that, because like to me, I'm still like, well, older stuff's gonna be, old Crew or stuff like that, or they go in the '70s. So I'm just like, oh my God, that's when you're old. Like the other day at work, I watched a documentary on the original old Van Halen, like and it was just like as fresh as could be to me,
Oh, dude, I heard about that too. I mean, because my I'm not even going to say a guilty pleasure because I freaking unapologetically love, stuff like Kiss is my favorite band of all time.
Oh, the first concert I ever went to. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude! Please, what tour was it?
Asylum.
Oh, fuck off, dude!
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to see, because that's the tour that fucking they looked like the Golden Girls, straight up like Gene Simmons looked like.
Yeah.
And they called him the Mod of Thunder. He looked like fucking B. Arthur, like the transgendered.
It was a good
Jewish
show, though, man.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he did. Really, he did.
Fuck yeah, dude. We could get on a whole other freaking episode about Kiss. And
I saw the Hot in the Shade tour. But...
That was when I saw him. That was the very first time I saw him. Saw him twice in the Hot in the Shade. Yeah, but that's you touched the nerve with me and Kiss. So yeah, I'll go fucking rounds, man. I'll go rounds.
Love it. So you mentioned when you were writing some of the songs on the album that a lot of it was let me think of the word I'm trying to say here. Inspired. I'm like inspired by the Satanic Bible. How what got you into Satanism?
Well, it's kind of crazy because like it was like probably back in about 2005. I had a good friend of mine that like he was like another straight edge kid I hung out with and stuff, and he was this kind of kid that went to hardcore shows back when I lived in Iowa, and he was one of these kids that like one day he was wearing the Hot Topic pants with like the buckles and the straps, and then the next day he had a Throwdown t-shirt on and an army hat with X's on his hands, right? And and so like it was boom boom, and he had all this stuff from back in his Marilyn Manson days and stuff, and I mean he was straight up just like the transition overnight, and he told me, he's like, you got to read the Marilyn Manson book, and at the time I didn't give a shit about Marilyn Manson. I had no interest whatsoever.
He's transgenre, is what he is.
Yeah, he totally is. And like, he's like, you got to read the book, even if you're not a fan. I'm like, all right, cool. And when they got to the section of the book about his involvement with the Church of Satan and his friendship with Anton LaVey and whatnot, there was kind of a little aside where he sort of breaks down what the Church of Satan is about, and it blew my mind because I'd known that there was theistic Satanism, and then there was more of a philosophical bent, and a lot of the people that I knew that weren't theistic, they were really big into Crowley and Marilyn Manson and the Process Church and stuff like that, Marilyn Manson, Charles Manson rather. And that kind of stuff, and to me it was like, okay, it's all kind of cultish, but the way that Marilyn Manson broke it down in his book, it was everything that I believed, everything that I felt. It was the reason why at the age of 18, why I decided to go straight edge was because I wanted to be my own God. I wanted to have full control, of myself when I can't control my surroundings, and finding out that there's a way through lesser magic and greater magic to sort of manipulate your surroundings and manipulate other people. Classy, right. Very classy, John. And finding that there was basically a way, to sort of, to define what I've felt for the longest time, and being blown away that it was through Satanism, and finding out that it was more of a life philosophy more so than a dogmatic religion, blew my mind. And so I went out to a used record store and bookstore and found a pristine mint condition paperback copy of the Satanic Bible. And like a lot of people in the first phase, I read it back to front like 6 or 7 times, like within a month. And there was a certain period of time went through it, and I was just like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, this is all great, but he's referring to demonic names and magic and blah blah blah. It was like, is there a level of crackpot to this? I mean, is it whatever? And so the more and more research I did, I was just like, well, no, it's very much in the in the real here and now. And there's no believing in demons or God or Satan or whatever. And it was very much a philosophy, and the symbolism, the fact that they use certain types of symbolism and the whole psychodrama thing, stuff that we all know. It continued to blow me away, because before that I had read an abundance of Bruce Lee. I was really huge into Bruce Lee. I read like the Zen and the martial arts, and to me it all came together. And even Gene Simmons' book Sex, Money, Kiss, and the way he approached music and stuff like that, to me it all came together. And I was just like, I was convinced that Gene Simmons was a Satanist. I was convinced that Bruce Lee was a Satanist, because at the time that he was big in Hollywood, he mingled with like Sammy Davis Jr. and all these people that were like Satanists and stuff like that. So I was like, oh yeah, Bruce Lee was a Satanist and we just didn't know it, blah blah blah. Anyway, so I was like so pumped. I was so freaking pumped on it. And then and then I was just like, then I found out, at the time back in like 2006, the website really wasn't as what it is now, and there was information online, but I was running across all these really horrible, quote unquote, modern Church of Satan websites and all these other things.
The pseudos,
pseudos, as you guys call it, and it was really disheartening, because I went through a short phase where I was like, well, the Satanic Bible is what I'm about, but is this where Satanism has turned? So there was a chunk of time where I was kind of like, wow, is this what it evolved to? And then I found some interviews with Magus Gilmore on YouTube and checked that stuff out, and then just kind of read some excerpts from the Satanic Scriptures, and it kind of brought me back around when that book came out. And immediately, got it, put it on my iPad, and reading it and stuff like that. I'm kind of pissed off right now, because every copy I try to find is like $100, so they better repress that fucker soon. But after I read Satanic Scriptures, it kind of put me back on track, and I kind of decided, I was going to around the time when that came out, I was going to jump in and put my application in and whatnot, and I decided to kind of chill, because I'm not an actual card-carrying member. I still consider myself a student. I'm definitely a Satanist, but I also consider myself a student, because one thing I've told a lot of Christians that I've grown up with is like, you can't call yourself a Christian until you know each and every single psalm of the book that you choose, and so many people will just rely on that as an excuse. It's like, I've got a Bible at home, I go to church, so I'm a Christian. Like, well, if you can't really school me on all things Christianity, then I really can't call it. I mean, I know it sounds like a really staunch, definition of it, but I can't really go that route, with that without holding myself to the same standard as a Satanist.
Yeah, no, student is a good word to use. I'd rather that than a follower, because people say that I follow Anton LaVey and things like that, and that's not really what it's about. Satanism demands study, not worship. So
I say that all the time.
Student's a great word to use. Yeah.
Yeah, and I tell people I'm a student of Satanism, and I mean that's kind of
a student studies,
Absolutely, and I think you always will be a student as long as you live as a Satanist.
Oh yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
As long as you can admit that you can always be better.
Oh, sure, and that's great that you bring that up too, because I don't ever feel, because one thing Bruce Lee always says, life is a constant process of relating.
Yeah.
And as you go through time, everything, every person that you meet, every time you discover something about yourself, every time you fail, every time you succeed, you learn. And if you don't want to evolve, then you're just, I don't know, you just really just can't be worth a shit in my eyes.
Yeah.
And people will say, okay, well, if you just call yourself, I hate when people say, like, man, I don't have, I don't believe in labels. When I started claiming straight edge, 22 years ago, and then when I decided that, I am a Satanist, people were just like, yeah, man, I agree with you 100%, but I don't like to label myself. And I told one guy, I was like, well, is that
bullshit.
There's a label for that, isn't there?
Yeah, they're bullshit. That's what they label it, And like, I mean, another thing, not to, yeah, very much so, not to kind of go rest on Bruce Lee too much, but
no, you're not going to rest. You're not going to go on Bruce Lee too much, man. I got my second degree black in Jeet Kune Do, and I've heard all sorts of stuff handed down through the masters down to my instructor. So yeah.
Oh yeah, then we definitely got to hang out. But yeah, I mean, he was just like, you see a table, you would not know it was a table if someone didn't call it a table.
Right.
This table cannot be a car. This table cannot be love. It can't be hate. It's a fucking table. That's to paraphrase something that I read Bruce Lee said. But you know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, yeah, I will gladly.
But then Anton, I don't want to interrupt you, but Anton took it further and said that table can be satanic. Isn't that awesome?
Absolutely. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, because it's about perception, and you can manipulate your own world, and to be perfectly honest, as an individual or atheist, you can basically create your own world. And I've got an empty water bottle next to me, and it's might be an empty water bottle, but it's my dog's toy. You know what I mean? And not to get all stupid and earthy about it, but I mean that's just how it goes, and that's one thing I think is really great about Satanism, because there's Satanists that I've met that we are completely on point, on the same page, but I fucking hate them and they fucking hate me, and that's awesome. You know what I mean? Because I don't have to like anybody.
No, we've never encountered anything like that.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Who gives a shit?
We all get along. We're just one big happy group.
That's why I like what you guys always say about the satanic community. If you feel like you're part of a community, then you need to go back and read.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah, the myth of the satanic community. Yeah.
So when you took on the title of Satanist, finally, how old were you?
Let me think. I'm 40 now. It's probably about 32.
Oh, okay. And did you tell like family members and friends and things like that?
Just my wife. It's funny about her. She's the most mundane atheist. She gives no fucks about anything spiritual or anything. I mean, she gets pretty heated about political stupidity, but at the same time, it's just kind of like she's like, oh, okay, cool, and then and I told everybody that I've told that knows me really well, will be like, yeah, it makes sense. That's basically what they say. It's like, yeah, I've known you for a long time, and everything, because the people that I've told, the people that I know that have read a lot of different books. My friend Peter Phillips, who's in a phenomenal sludge blues band, if you can fathom that subgenre, called Sioux City Pete and the Beggars. He studied theology in college, and he's kind of like a non-labeled Satanist, but I mean, him and I have had many, many talks about stuff. And anyway, he's one of my closest friends and dearest brothers of just, I mean, he's an amazing person. But anyway, I told him, and he's like, yeah, that makes sense. He goes, so basically you're like $200 away and an application from a member. I'm like, yeah, basically, and he goes, well, I've always felt that about you my entire life, but I didn't really think that you'd understand that. So yeah, I mean, just my closest friends that, and the thing about it is I've never really been about shock and awe with anybody, but like, yeah, I'm doing this, what do you think of that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't ever do that kind of shit. And it's never, because I've always, when I found the word misanthrope, I was like, holy shit, somebody knows me and they put a word on it. And then I looked even further. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not that bad, but I've never really given a shit. As a lot of people can easily say, I don't care what anybody thinks about me, but we all very much care what people think about us, whether we want to admit it or not. But when it comes to the in the realm of stuff like that, it's just like, whether anybody knows it or knows me, if I live on an island by myself, I'm still going to be, a Satanist. So it doesn't really matter if anybody else around me is,
Yeah, I
You sound like
yeah, I can relate. I mean, we want people to like us, of course, but if they don't, I'm not going to fucking go bite my pillow over it. I don't give
Yeah,
a
of course.
shit.
Yeah, well, you'll be biting your pillow if they like you quite a bit, actually.
I might. I think they like me too much. No, yeah.
Yes.
Stop sucking my dick. No.
Okay.
No, it's funny. That's so funny.
God.
Awesome.
Already.
So, where do we go from here?
But yeah, if I ramble too much, guys, obviously you can chop it up. And,
No, it's good. It's filling up the show.
It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, dude. Oh my God, a friend of mine does this podcast called Music the Lifeblood. It's a metal podcast, and he lets me go on these rants. He's like, all right, Carter, you got 3 minutes. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'll go on a rant about something, and then I'll get done. He go, holy shit. He goes, you just did 11 minutes, and I'm like, it felt like 30 seconds. So.
Nice. So what's up next for you? What's plans for the band or other projects you want to do? Or
well, yeah. Actually, as it stands right now, since Down to This is me plus a whole new group of dudes, we are writing a bunch of new music over the course of the next few months. We've got a bunch of shows, and what's really great about the album that we have out is it's new to a lot of people. It's old to me. It's newer to the guys that are currently in the band, but they didn't write anything on it, and I only wrote the lyrics, so we can do whatever we want to on the next album. You know what I'm saying? So it's fun. I mean, we're kind of piggybacking off of our ex-members' writing, and they really made it easy for us. You know what I mean? So and I really don't give a shit. I mean, it's just with the bullshit that they put me through and the drama and stuff like that. I'll very gladly take their fucking table scraps.
Right.
Yeah.
Fucking A, dude.
Yeah.
Cool. So where can people go to find your? Oh yeah, there you go. Go ahead, Dorian. You ask it.
Where what's the best place to find you? Website or
probably I mean, obviously there's the Facebook thing that we've got that, and we've got an Instagram. Probably the best source would be our Facebook page, but Swamp Metal Records Bandcamp and swampmetalrecords.com has our newest album Relentless on it. If you want to check that out, I mean it's like, I think our CD's on there for like $7. You can actually hear us on Spotify. You can get it on iTunes. You can get it on Amazon. And what's kind of cool is like the original press, the European press is considered an import on Best Buy and Amazon now. So I've actually seen our CD for $36, and now I'm, in European press. I don't know where the money's going to, but it's not going to me. So if you guys want to hit me up, I can hook you up one for $7. So it's whatever. But I wanted to ask you guys something real quick too. With what you're doing with I Satanist, John, I'm really stoked about that.
Cool.
And the artwork that you do is freaking amazing. And Dorian, with you being like a tattoo artist, one thing that I think is really awesome is one thing I have found is within Satanism, not the satanic community, but within Satanism, people are drawn to each other that have a passion for something, Mm-hmm. And with music and tattooing, and then like with you with John, with like the visual arts and like the
jewelry
stuff that you do,
yeah.
and the martial arts and everything. I've noticed that there's a certain thing in Satanism. It's like if there's a person that says I'm a Satanist, but all they have is their 9-to-5 job and maybe their family, which family is very important to me. But if you don't have something outside of your 9-to-5 job or whatever your job is, whatever your hours are, and your family, you're not really putting, what Satanism is about into your life. If you don't have something, if you're not creating something, putting something out there, for the world to kind of leave a mark after you pass, because we're not going to heaven, we're not going to hell, we're just going to fucking die, and we're going to leave shit here for people forever. And if we're not contributing to the future beyond our death, then we're not worth a shit. And I just want to say that, like, Dorian, your artwork is fucking phenomenal. I've been actually checking out your tattoo work for a while, even before I discovered the Devil You Know. And obviously, I Satanist. I mean, this stuff's great, and like, it's really an honor to be doing this this podcast, because I've looked up to what you guys have been doing for a while. And I just want to say thanks, because I mean, I like how people with passions are drawn together under this kind of thing.
I like the way you talk.
Yeah.
No, thanks, man. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I would say, just on that note, I would say that Satanism is about living the life that you want to live, and if the life that you want to live is just doing what you do and spend time with your family and nothing else, that's totally satanic. Actually, it's just that those of us who are creating and who are, if you're creating, you're excelling, or you're doing your best to excel. That's what it's really about, is if you are a creator. And since we are a mutual admiration society, then we do tend to, I mean, there's the phrase Church of Satan's snobs for a reason. We tend to look at each other and go, okay, that guy, he's not excelling, I'm not going to work with him. This guy, he's excelling, I want to work with him. John and I are drawn to work together on different stuff, because we both know that we're going somewhere with what we're doing. So
yeah.
Well, yeah.
And that doesn't mean that I won't befriend somebody who's not.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just the thing. Just like kind of what you're saying about like Milton Kroover, like you guys recently interviewed. That guy is.
Who?
I mean, he's Milton.
No, who are you talking
Good old
about?
Uncle Milty.
Oh, Uncle Milty. Yeah, all right, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
He's gonna be so mad at that.
Yeah, I mean, he's so into his family and parenting, that so much that it drove him to start a pretty badass podcast. And I've talked to him a couple times, through Facebook Messenger and whatnot. And he does that too. I guess to sort of expound a bit on what I was saying is, like, like you said, Dorian, there's nothing wrong if that's what your life is. But the thing about it is, if you take it for granted, if you take your family and your job for granted, then you're a piece of shit in my eyes. Because
sure, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I know people that are phenomenal parents that just, like, everything that they do is everything that their kids are into, and that's great, and that's what I try to do too. And in your job, and if people go to work every day and they complain, fuck man, I wish it was 5 o'clock. Like, well, look, you're being paid money to be here. Yeah. So why the fuck are you complaining? You could be at home complaining about not having money. So that's the kind of person that that I stay the fuck away from, and people that have a passion, and I guess, you're absolutely right. Not just a creative outlet, but like a passion for what you're doing and a passion for life, because in reality, not to sound like a cliche, but you don't know when the hell it's going to end. And if you're not serving a purpose or, making the most of where you're, of your life, no matter what the fuck it is you're doing, then you're not, there's really no use for you.
Carpe diem.
Right. Yeah. Vital existence.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome, man. Well, listen, we have one more question before you go. We ask this of all our guests. What does Satan mean to you?
Okay. Well, right off the bat, it means strength and discipline. And by that, I've thought about this for years, and it's the discipline to not follow the herd, because it's so easy to just fall in line and to just accept, just a nothing life. And to me, I think to stay on track and be focused. There's a guy that his name escapes me right now, but I recently read an essay. He talked about making your discipline your passion. And when you really, if you really find your passion and find what drives you, and it's not something that you dread doing, it's like you are passionate, you want to do this thing that takes discipline or whatever. And to me, Satan is that exactly. It's like that, kind of like to touch on what Amy said, I mean, fuck, dude. How about just what Amy said? I'll just say that. Just everything that Amy said. Go with that. But you know,
he smacks you on the ass because he is you and you is him.
Oh, dude, she is nuts. That shit was amazing. But yeah, man, it's just kind of like it's the thing that makes me want more out of life is the bottom line. You know, that's what Satan is. It's the thing it is tangible. It's not it's not an ethereal thing. It's a tangible thing, and it's to me it's strength and discipline and freedom. Those are the three things that Satanism is to me.
Awesome. Very cool.
Right on, man. Very cool, man. We appreciate you taking the time to be on the show, John.
Yeah,
cool,
seriously, really good.
Yeah,
good to get to know you.
Really, yeah, sorry. I love talking over you, John. See?
No, it's all good.
let me step all over you a little bit fucking more. How about that?
It's always tough when there's three people, and it's kind of crazy, but yeah.
Oh, it's okay if it's in a three-way. It's not gay if it's in a three-way, I hear.
Yeah, not if our eyes are closed.
As long as we're not looking at each other, it's not gay.
Hey, and if you do, it's a plus, I guess. But yeah, I really appreciate it, man. Like I said, it's an honor, and I have the utmost respect and admiration for everything that you guys do.
Awesome.
And I'm gonna be probably bugging the shit out of you guys on an almost daily basis and picking your brains with everything from tattooing to martial arts to all things Satanism. So. Hail fucking Satan.
Hail Satan.
Great. Yeah, until next time, everyone, hail Satan.
Hail Satan.